lobbies, etc. So as long as you have a brand story to tell, we can craft a signature scent to articulate the brand story. Each and every perceivable ingredient will have to tie in well with the brand ethos. Ultimately, we are not here to just sell a scent. We are here to sell a story, emotions, and memories. Our sense of smell is our strongest sensory organ. Crafting this invisible facade is really the best way to leave a deep impression. So last year, we are also very thankful for all the collaboration opportunities that were presented to us. Some of them include the world's first TCM scent, and it was crafted for Yuan Sheng's 140th anniversary. This iconic scent has nuances of ginseng, dried mandarin peel, kumquat, and rose. Let me just play this video for you. Okay, and we also customize a scent for the brand Piaget for the launch of their Rose collection last year during Mother's Day. And this scent was inspired by the famous Perfect Rose. And it has 72 unique rose species inside. We've also made a scent for SQ, SIA lounges, and also for Chris Shop. And as we mentioned before, we also customize fragrances for luxury hotels like Fullerton Hotel, Fullerton Bay Hotel, Hotels by Far East Organization. These new hotels are in Sentosa. We have Village Hotel Sentosa, Outpost, and Barracks Hotel. And we are also very thankful for the support from the media last year too. So last year, I had a chance to customize a scent for Catholic High, where PM Lee and I were from. He was kind enough to pay us a visit when he toured Funan and mentioned us on his social media post as well. So this is a nutshell about Scent by Six. I shall move on to the questions. Okay, I will start off with the first question. If you were still trying to develop your business and were faced with two options of getting any resources you need to develop and launch a groundbreaking new product which you believe will revolutionize the cosmetics industry and nailing a collaboration with the top industry player, which will you choose? Well, I will choose to nail a collaboration first with the top industry player and use the resources to launch a groundbreaking new product. So technically, there's really no hard and fast rule in business. I think most of the time you have to really prioritize and see what you really can make use of and really make use of that to generate as much ROI as possible, as much as possible. Okay. Are we good with the questions? Am I going too fast or too slow? Anyone? All right. How did you build up a customer base when you first started your business? Do you have any specifically tried and tested tactics to market your business? Well, when we first started Send by Six in the beginning as a retail business, in 2016 July, we first did a lot of pop-ups in the beginning. So there's a lot of personal touch to it. I myself, I was very hands-on, and we hold a lot of pop-ups at Red Dot Design, the Red Dot Design Museum, at Orchard Central, etc. And then departmental stores like Tangs, Takashimaya, they found us. So we continued this offline presence now at the higher level departmental stores, etc. So to me, I think, especially when you are talking about a fragrance business, you need to really be on the ground to really give that personal touch to your customers. So concurrently, we do focus a lot on the online presence as well. So as much as I can, I like to be very much involved in the communication that we do with our customers on IG and Facebook. And we also focus a lot on our CRM system as well. And to be honest with you, there's really no hard and fast rule in business. I think every business is unique in their own way, and things will change every single day. So I think the ability for the founders and the team to be adaptive to the environment is very, very much important and imperative. All right, and I will move on to the next question. For a business on social media, how do we attract more long-term customers, and how do we advertise such businesses? And if we do manage to get a lot of followers, how do we make the product more appealing to them and make them want to buy it? So as I said, I think it's very important for you to be personally engaging your followers, to talk to them personally, have a voice or a persona behind the brand, and to address their concerns and go one step forward every single time. So for example, little things like, for example, if I know that there's going to be a gift that's purchased by one of my customers, I will go one step beyond to ask customers if they would like to have a gift card or what sort of gift packaging they would like to have. And if I know it's going to be a birthday, for example, then I know it's very important, and we are very mindful to ask customers about when the delivery date is going to be. So we make sure that when we work with third-party couriers, they don't miss the deadlines, etc. And I think it is in all these small details that customers will actually pick up and they will really appreciate. And this is how we actually, retain our customers in the long run. So to touch on a point when we are talking about how to make the product more appealing to your followers, I would say it's good for you to have a pool or a selection of the more opinionated followers out of your entire group, to invite them over for a private session of coffee or tea, and then you can do a qualitative study with them. What do I mean by that? I think it's important to understand what they really are looking out for in your products, to hear from them about the feedback that they have about your products, because to me, I think there's always something to improve every single day, etc. So from there, I think you get a lot more learning about what is really important to your group of customers. And going forward, this is even more important because you need to set the direction right in your product development, etc. Okay, I will move on to the next question. Is there a huge profit loss during this COVID period, and how do you deal with it? Do you start selling your products online? I would say yes. There's definitely an impact to a lot of us during this period. We weren't allowed to operate, and there were a lot of restrictions before the circuit breaker. So back to this word adaptive, we went on a full-on online digital marketing program. We were adaptive to really package and present products that are relevant to all of us right now, pre and post circuit breaker. We communicate clearly to the right crowd at the right time about these products and services offerings. So we were able to also curate our own line of disinfecting products, sanitizers, etc. And thank God, because of that, we were allowed to be exempted during the circuit breaker period as well. Not for the retail, but for the production of these essential items. Okay. Now, this is an interesting question. Is it possible to be an entrepreneur at 14 years old? If so, what kind of industries or business can we build our entrepreneurship on? Why not? For myself, I started a mini MLM business when I was in secondary one. Back then, just to share a little story about myself, I was into football and I couldn't afford to buy a pair of limited edition David Beckham soccer boots at 300 over Sing dollars. So I decided to start a business and started an MLM business, a referral business, to try to get money to fuel my passion. So talking about passion, it's important to know what you want and to really identify your passion and your interests as much as possible. And if you can't do that, and if you still want to if you still want to pursue a business, it's important for you to identify a problem, to address a problem in society or around you, or to address a need in your market. Okay, next question. Is there a course for entrepreneurship? If yes, what subjects do we need to take? So I did my master's in entrepreneurship and innovation from NTU. So to me, I think that it's really not imperative for anyone to study about entrepreneurship. I took it because I really wanted to get the network and to understand about venture capital financing, about corporate finance, etc. But I don't think that the best business person out there, you really do need to have this kind of education. To be frank with you, I get the most learning during the course of me running the business. Every single day when I'm running the business, I'm learning something new. I guarantee you it's really a roller coaster ride. There's no one day that is going to be boring for you as a founder. If you were to ask me, I think it's really a full-time job of me being a problem solver. So everyone comes to me with a problem and I'm expected to solve the problem for them. So it's really interesting. I would say if you really do have an interest to start a business, I would say just do it. There's always a lot of people out there who is going to tell you and talk to you about, hey, I really want to start this business. You know what? I've got this wonderful idea about this thing that I have is groundbreaking and is really gonna have such potential, etc. This person is gonna talk to you about how he's gonna plan out this whole business, etc. But 10 years down the road, you know, he's still working for a company or corporation and nothing gets done. So I would say stop the talk and do the walk. To me, I think well done is better than well said. So start doing and make the first step and be brave, take the lead. Okay. Now I have a question here. It's quite long, so bear with me. Could you please share your opinion on the potential of disruptive direct-to-consumer business models? So if everyone here has a phone with you or you have access to internet, maybe you can start to Google this. It's about this company from Korea called LYCL Incorporated. It's a brand in Korea that relies on data and information from their platforms unpa.me, unpa.me, and palette.me to feed information into their business, which can aid in development of their own cosmetics line, unpa.cosmetics. From what I know about it, this type of business model relies heavily on customer reviews and feedback for brand development. I know that this question is not that related to the topic today, but I would really like to know more about it from an actual industry player. Thank you. So yes, I would say huge potential over here because right now everyone is talking about big data and meaningful analysis and how this can be incorporated into mindful, meaningful customization for your customers. So on our end from SAM by 6, I think we have clear pipelines in 2020 and next year to engage with external consultancies and technology partners. We want to build the next experiential omni-channel retail platform. So we want to have AR, AI in the promotion of perfumes and cosmetics in our retail outlets. And we want to incorporate and to integrate that well with our live streaming platforms on our social media. Also tying that with our CRM system. So all three of them will come together to form a very robust omni-channel and experiential ecosystem in time to come. This is very much important because I think moving forward, when we talk about your brick and mortar retail presence, I think for people to really travel down to your retail store, your brick and mortar store, to understand about the products, I think you better have a very strong rationale for these people when they come to your store. Because other than that, I think people can easily purchase your products online. So if you do not have a strong rationale or an attraction at your place of outlet or your outlet, I think that won't be sustainable in time to come. Okay. So, okay, I think we have got a few more questions here. For your business, do you manufacture the ingredients used in the sense yourself, or do you buy them from an external manufacturer and use them? Where can we find reliable external manufacturers? Well, for ingredients like our perfumery ingredients, our raw materials, as I said, we work very closely with the company that I used to work for. It's called Givaudan, Givaudan. You can Google about this company. It's the world's #1 fragrance house. And if I'm not wrong, they have about 40% of market share in total. So we actually work with Givaudan to come up with, to source for these ingredients, and then we mix them in our own labs, in our own warehouse. Then how do you find reliable external manufacturers? I would say, well, when the opportunity comes in future, I hope so. Attend expos and exhibitions, trade shows. I think these are the places when you can really get to know more about these industry players and to get to understand, to suss them out, to see whether they are really reliable or not. Of course, the best way will be to order samples and to be mindful and to be very discerning when you are assessing these samples as well. Okay. Now, let me see. how long do you need to start a business, and how much money do you need to start off? Okay, interesting question. Well, I started the business in 2014, but effectively, we only launched the brand in 2016 in July. So it took almost about 2.5 years to get the business onto the shelves. And during this whole period, we were really busy trying to formulate the brand. There were a lot of times when we had to do a lot of testings, uh, um, stability testing, experiments, and we also need to take time to visit our suppliers in their factories to make sure that they do have a robust manufacturing line, they do sustainable sourcing, etc. So the timeline of about 1 to 2 years, I think this is something that is required. Um, I spent about $500,000 in the beginning, putting into the money in products. Um, well, because this business is all about, um, you know, you have a huge investment that's needed for your raw materials and your perfume bottles and your packaging. So this is something that is a heavy investment requirement. Okay, so I think I've touched on the majority of the questions here. Do you girls have any more questions?
Yes, so we have questions that have come in as you were speaking earlier, Mr. Lee.
Sure. Let me just take a look at. Okay. What was your goal for your brand at the start, and has it changed now? If it has, what is it now? It hasn't changed, to be honest with you. I think it was my intention to start this brand to tell to the world Singapore's fragrance story. And until now, I haven't deviated from this intention, and I'm still striving to reach this goal. So, of course, having this collaboration with Singapore Airlines, this is one big step because well, this is really one of the best airlines in the world, and having them to carry your scent everywhere in the world, this is something that we take pride in. And hopefully, next time we'll be able to proudly tell Singaporeans that, hey, in Singapore, there's this very proudly Singaporean-made brand that is famous for perfumes, home diffusers, etc. So I'll touch on the next question. What sets your brand apart from others? Were there any unique selling points or special features of Scent by Six compared to others? Okay, we'll just touch on. Okay, I think I'll still come back to my point that I've spoken before. So Scent by Six is all about inspiring people with stories. So just for your understanding, if you do smell my perfumes, they are all inspired by my favorite travel destinations. So it's all about people being immersed in your stories, and for them to identify with your inspirations and your emotions and memories. So I don't know, compared to other manufacturers out there, as much as you can see in the malls, you have CK and other luxury brands out there. I think a lot of these brands, they are very heavily invested in having a model or doing a lot of branding, advertising, spending a lot on these budgets to push out the brand. But for us, I think we want our brand story, we want our fragrance stories to shine, for people to leave, to have a deep impression on what they are wearing, and to strongly have a conviction in what they are using. So this sets us apart from our competitors. And also I'd like to show you this. I think in terms of packaging, when we first started the business, we were the first to actually launch this commercially. So this is actually the perfume bottle that we sell. Okay, I'm not sure if you can see clearly. I'll try my best to put it clearly. Okay, so in order to use this, you just need to twist. Over here, twist. Can you see? I'm sorry if it's a little bit blur. You twist and then you spray. Okay, so this is how it works. Okay, and this bottle is actually 20 ml, made of a high-grade aluminum, and it's refillable. So you can just take this out. I'm not sure if you can see clearly. And this is the perfume and the bottle over here. Okay, and it's very eco-friendly as well. You can unplug it and do the refill once you're done with it. So it's very eco-friendly as well. So for people who are always traveling, who are very active, and who are afraid that their perfumes may get, may have leakage or whatnot, they can actually use this. This is actually very, very handy. Okay. So let's move on to the next question. All right. Is there a meaning behind the brand logo? Yes. When we first started designing the brand logo, well, if you can take a look, it's a hexagonal shape. So because we are dealing with organic compounds and perfumes, so it's all about the hexagonal chemical structure that you see. Okay, and we just try to be very simple. And so when people look at it, it's just 6, so it resonates in your mind easily. Okay. Look, how do you maintain a work-life balance? All right, so I would say it starts from within. So for me, well, at least for the past 6 years, I've really taken less than 3 days of sick leave myself. I couldn't bear to fall sick and to miss my work, but yet, well, I got married in 2015. Right now, this is 2020. I'm a father of 3. My eldest is 4 years old, and I've just got a newborn this April. So I think, what do I mean by starting from within? I think it's important for me to have the right mindset. That's very important, and for that you need to be healthy. So I make sure that I do have regular exercise. I go for my daily HIIT, and I watch my diet very regularly and strictly as well. So making sure that I'm always hydrated and all that. I think, to you girls, maybe this is something that is very, very simple, and like, what is this guy talking to me about, but common sense, common things are really just not that common after all nowadays. So, pay attention to all these basic stuff and to make sure that you are well and healthy. And then with that, I think your mind can be healthy. And with that, you can spread positivity to your family and to be able to plan your time effectively and to, spend time with them effectively as well. So, for my side, for myself, I make a point to at least spend about an hour or 2 with my family, and I really put away all my work. I do not look at my phones, my social media, my laptops. I just spend present time. Like you need to be present and to be really there to talk to your kids and to your spouse, your wife. That's most important. And I think, yeah, that's how I actually create that work-life balance. And other than that, I just go full on my work. All right. Next, were you ever worried that you couldn't pay back your loan and considered giving up? Okay, now to be honest with you, I only started taking a loan this year because the interest rates were really, really low right now. So before that, they were all from my own savings and my own investments from before. So every single day, yes, you worry, but I can tell you honestly, it's a waste of time to worry because I would rather put my attention and time to doing something that I can control. Having to worry about something that I can't control, to me, is a waste of time. And you really, really have no time when you're running the business from morning to until night. And uh, so I think, to me, I rely a lot on my own plans. And as far as I know, I tell myself, hey, Jason, I have this plan in front of myself right now. Okay, and this is how am I going to take the business moving forward. This is how much we're going to spend, how much we're going to expect to get out of it. And I'll just stick to it, work hard at it, and inspire the team to do the same. And as far as I know, I think, well, of course, to thank God as well. I think having a good faith is very important as well. There are a lot of times that it really seems like the business is really going down south and there's very little hope, especially during this COVID season right now. Every single day, I can tell you, my peers and I, other business owners and I, we were talking, and we were just asking ourselves, what were we doing? What are we into now? What kind of generation and times are we at now? What's in it for us? In time to come, do we want to still want to move forward? Do we still want to continue? But at the end of the day, I think, well, all of us, the few of us, we're all Christians, and I think it's important for us to commit our fears and our worries to God as well. And with that, I think because God is powerful, so that gives us a lot of courage and motivation to move forward with this blind faith. Okay. Were there any times when you faced some setbacks? If there were, what types of setbacks were they? I face setbacks all the time, man. I mean, every single day, as I said, I'm solving problems. But I can tell you, uh, the one problem that there's really, to me, I think that's really very hard to tackle will be human resource problems, because it's really not easy to understand human beings and to really if you have a staff coming in and tell you that, hey, I'm really not motivated, and I can't do this and that, and there were like problems with a staff and all, office politics and all. I think to manage that, I think it takes more time. You need to be very patient, and well, at the end of the day, as I said, I think you can do and try and um, uh, settle all these things in your own abilities. But at the end of the day, I think it's important for us to keep faith also. Well, do you have any tips on being a good problem solver? Okay, I would say it is important for us, if you can, find a mentor, because a lot of times I do actually communicate all these problems. I ask questions to my fellow business owners, my peers, and some of the more experienced business owners out there who are in their 50s and 60s. I think these people have gone through a lot more than I do. And we can't say that what they have or what they know are irrelevant. I think that in business, even though the business environment that we have, the markets that we have evolve so quickly, but at the end of the day, I think to solve a problem, I think there's still certain ways to solve it that comes with experience. So it's always good to consult people with experience and to really connect with them regularly, to have another voice to check and balance your business. Okay. Let me see, we have a new question. What are the benefits of having a signature scent for hotels and malls? Can you comment on the science behind it? Well, I would say that at the end of the day, when we craft an ambient scent for the hotel, I'm just like a painter or a songwriter. No different from that, because I'm just there telling a story for the hotel. I'm there like an architect to build an invisible facade for the hotel. So when people step in, they smell the scent, they can present it about the scent, and they smell it and they have a very wholesome experience when they step into the mall. So this is meant to really complement their sights and sounds that you have when you step into a space. And I would say really there are actually scientific evidence behind this the power of a scent on your memories, but on how that can actually quantify into ROI, I don't think anybody has done any of that research before. Okay, well, just to share with you how powerful a scent can be, back in Givaudan, the company that I used to work for, before I quit, I was actually involved in a community initiative. So we wanted to actually help people or patients with dementia and Alzheimer disease. So the whole group of creative perfumers and some other colleagues, we came together and we went on to do deep dive interviews with these patients. We understand about their backgrounds and where they used to stay, their culture. We talk to the neighbors, etc., about what they like to do. And for each of them, we customize a, a unique palette of scents that makes sense to these people. So, for example, if Auntie Mui, she stays in Chinatown next to a temple, then probably we will have the scent of incense of the temple within this collection of fragrance. And if she likes to drink kopi o kosong, we can actually do that for her as well. So we brought this whole collection of fragrances to these patients and we presented that to them. Now, the results were amazing. If you have time after this session, you can log on to YouTube and you can Google for Givaudan, the company that I used to work for, smell a memory. So you can watch the video and take a look at their real emotional expressions. I can tell you honestly, if you have if you talk to some of their loved ones, they're probably just gonna tell you it's hopeless, right? Like no matter what they say, they can sing song to them every single day. They can talk to them every single day, and they struggle to even evoke a little bit of or reaction from their loved one who is having dementia. But when they smell these signature scents that make sense to them, that actually triggered quite a number of significant emotional reaction from these people. So they were tearing. They were even able to actually utter a couple of words that relates to their loved ones. So it's really amazing. So this really tells you how powerful a scent can actually be in triggering your memories and your emotions. So, like the hotels, like airlines and all that, we are all here to sell emotions. We are all here to make customers happy. And at the end of the day, when you actually make customers emotional, you win. So, having a sense, I think that's the best way to actually achieve that. All right. Do you have many competitors in the industry? How do you attract buyers to your product instead of others? Okay, I'm gonna just say this. To me, I really don't think or be bothered too much about competitors. Not that I'm being too proud of or full of myself. No, but at the end of the day, as I said, I'm an artist. I'm here to actually inspire people with my stories, and as long as my stories, they are unique, they make sense to people, they are able to actually evoke some emotions and memories, I think I've done my job well. So it doesn't mean that when you buy a bottle of Sam by Six, you can't actually buy another bottle of maybe Ula Lab fragrance or a fragrance by any other brands. So each brand, you are free for it's really free for all to actually express your own brand story. And I would say I spend zero effort in trying to prevent people from buying my competitors' items, to be honest with you. For critics of Sam by Six, I always tell them, no, if you're really not comfortable with our products, please go. I really do not have time to waste in trying to retain this customer. To be honest with you, it's really not worth your time. Okay. What are some trending scents these days? Do Singaporeans have a preference? Um, well, I will still have to say Sam by Six is trending for sure. Um, but really, what is trending nowadays? I think in terms of olfactive directions, I think people are more inclined towards the more natural directions. People are more inclined to skin scents. People are just more attracted to things that are simple. So if you realize brands like Uniqlo, Cotton On, they are doing so well, really is it's all about simplicity, beauty in simplicity. And the whole concept of athleisure and also having this idea of a skin scent is really catching on. So people want to feel acquainted with nature. They want to feel acquainted with themselves, and they feel there's a more higher importance in trying to fulfill their higher level of well-being inside, rather than having a perfumistic scent to impress people around them. I think we are moving towards that. Yeah. So when we do market research studies, we found out that people actually are more bothered about what they feel and what they perceive out of the scent rather than what others perceive about them wearing the scent. Okay. Let me move on to the next question. What are the most important things to keep in mind being an entrepreneur, such as users' needs, promoting skills, etc.? I'm just going to share a few advice or give you a little bit of a sharing. I think it's important for us as founders, as entrepreneurs, to when we first start a business, I think identify and be very clear about your brand mission, what you really want to bring and to offer to your customers. Because when you are out there selling your products, they just have no time to spend hours to understand your grandmother's story. So you better be able to tell them what you are here to offer them in about 2 to 3 lines or in less than a couple of minutes. So in this golden time, you have to really make your business shine. You have to make an impact, and for them to actually spend more time to understand more. So this is important. Other than that, I think it's important for you to also be mindful of the systems that you need to have to sustain the business in the long run. What do I mean by that? I think it's important for you to establish a good accounting system, a good CRM system, a good payroll HR system. All these things will sound very, very back end to you, but let me tell you something. If you establish these foundations right from the beginning, you save so much more time and resources going moving forward. When you expand your business, you really will be better off that way. And ultimately, I would say people skills. I think people skills is really the most important out of everything. I must say that other than smelling, other than the creation of scents, I think each and every one of my colleagues out there who at this point they are working very, very hard. They are better than me in whatever they do. My sales promoters at Bugis Junction, for example, they can sell much better than I do. The person behind Send by Six social media, he's better in taking photos. He's better in postings. He's better in engaging some of our followers much better than I do. In terms of finance, my finance person can actually see trends and numbers better than I do. So I must say it's important for us to be able to motivate, to be able to groom and to lead our colleagues and to grow them in a sustainable way. I think that's very important. It's very easy to say this, but let me tell you something. This is something that until now, I'm still struggling to learn as a business owner. Have you ever gotten so stressed about managing the company to the point that you wondered why you became an entrepreneur in the first place? I've become very, very stressed, but the one and only way for me to de-stress and it's worked for me so far is really to go for my exercise, to go for my interval runs, go for my HIIT. That half an hour of me time of just focusing on myself, no families, no work. I think that works wonder for me. It doesn't change on why I wanted to be an entrepreneur. Maybe I'd like to share with you a little bit on why I took the leap of faith. Um, Prior to starting Send by Six, as I mentioned before, I used to work in Givaudan, and I had a whole career path drafted out nicely for me. I was hired as a management associate, and the future was bright. Company gave me a lot of opportunities. They sent me over to Jakarta for a couple of years, and they sent me over to Manila to handle key accounts. But I still took the leap of faith because I had a revelation and a reflection when I was 30 years old, and I imagine myself being at the age of 50 or towards retirement. I don't know if I will regret doing what I do because at the end of the day, I think let me make an exception to the teaching profession, to doctors, etc. As long as you work for a company or a corporation, whatever you do, whatever you contribute, the sales numbers and all that can be flying very high, but all these will mean nothing the moment you are fired, the moment you are retrenched, or the moment you retire. People will only remember the next person that comes on after you, your successor. So there's no right or wrong answer. If you are cool with retiring with just a bunch of money with you, that's fine. I'm not going to challenge that. But for myself, I will definitely regret. I will not be happy with my life because I will not feel. I feel very very unfair in that sense. Like I feel like I haven't achieved anything at all if I were to retire like that. So if I were to drop dead tomorrow, for example, my son, my daughters, they will still be proud of Send by Six. The brand is still there. Nobody can take it away from me. All the happiness that that we have managed to evoke out of our customers, all these happy memories, nobody can actually take away from me. Yeah. So and also, if you do the business right, I think it's a good way to create a good source of passive income for yourself as well. Because when you're working for someone, the day when you are not able to work, touch wood, you better pray that you have a good line of insurance that is available for you to sustain your retirement. Otherwise, it's going to be drastic. But for myself, if as long as the business is running smoothly, it's auto running, there will still be streams of income coming in. So this is what I mean by having passive income. Okay. What gave you the motivation to start a business, and what are the contributing factors of your success? I just spoken about why I actually wanted to start a business, so I'll just speak about what made me want to continue. I wouldn't even call myself a success. Really, I think for us, we are still in the micro SME stage. But what really motivates me to carry on and to move on is, of course, God, and also the sights of my kids. So the moment you have kids in future, I think that will come naturally. There's no turning back. You're not going to stop. Yeah, the moment you're going to stop, who is going to feed them? So the only way is to go forward and to really make a difference. So that's how I actually move forward. Christopher, you want to say something?
Yeah, I think there's time for just one last question because the lesson is about to end. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, maybe I'm just going to speak a little bit about what are a few cents that you are going to release in the near future. All right, so in the past few years, I think Givaudan and us, we have worked together, and they have actually got a very wonderful patented technology that is backed up with scientific data and experiments. So we have a palette of ingredients that we are using to blend in with our products that's going to be launched in future. And imagine smelling a perfume that actually helps you to sleep better, focus better, relax better, etc. So gone are the days when you can you only need to rely on just singular notes fragrances from essential oils. Now you can have a olfactively complex fragrance that smells so good, but yet it is scientifically proven to be functional to help you in your daily lives. So we plan to actually launch these fragrances, also inspired by places of the world that I've traveled before, and we want to put them in categories like your perfume, your hand creams, your sanitizers, and also in your home ambient scenting products. So just to show you before we end off, this is one of the diffusers that we use for the homes, and this is actually where you get the scent out, and this is how you do the refill. So we're going to be very focused on this because I think moving forward, everyone is more or less going to work from home. There will be a lot of home-based activities, so we want to actually target on this segment. Okay, I think that's all for now, I guess. Christopher?
Yeah, I think that's all we have time for. Yeah, so yes, girls, I think it's only right that we give Mr. Lee a big hand for the tremendous amount of wisdom that he has shared with us over this short period.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. In case anyone has any questions, you can DM us directly on Instagram. The Instagram handle is Scentby6, SCENTBYSIX. So do follow us and do DM us your questions. I'll be there to touch base with you.
Okay, yeah, and on that note, I think we will call it a day. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And take care. Keep well.
Bye.
Bye.
Yay! Congratulations.